So I recorded this video about a week and a half before the 5.7 special announcement live stream, and in that live stream, Genshin actually announced a few awesome changes that are coming to Genshin that have to do with exact topics that I talk about in this video. But they do not even address like 15% of the total things that I am going to talk about in this video. All right, so just saying, there will be a little post-narrated Eakes that will pop up during this video to address the changes that just came out so that, you know, we're up to date. All right, enjoy. Genshin Impact is still, to this day, the biggest gacha game of all time. It was the first gacha game to hit mainstream relevancy and was even called the first AAA gacha game by some. The developers of Genshin Impact, HoYoverse, recouped the entire development costs of Genshin, $100 million in the first 2 weeks that the game came out. They took the insane profits they made from Genshin and created 2 follow-up titles in the gacha space, but in different genres, Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero, both to massive success. And this cemented them as the undisputed #1 juggernaut company in the gacha space to this day. And while Genshin Impact is still going strong today, even with all the successes and the accolades it's garnered, it's starting to show its age. It is at its core an extremely polished game, especially for one that is free to play. But it was developed 5 years ago at this point, and compared to its competition or even its counterparts created by the same company, it does seem like it is falling behind, or at the very least, not being modernized as much as it should. Now with this intro, you may think I'm doom posting, okay? Making a hit piece on Genshin. Why would I do that when I am quite literally a Genshin Impact content creator? To be honest, there are a few reasons, but one of them is that I am asked pretty frequently, what would I change about Genshin if I could? And I've given that question a lot of thought over the years, and I think it's finally time that I express it in a full video. I am in a lucky enough position to have a platform in this space. So by making a video like this, I hope that I can make a difference somehow, or at the very least, let me and other players be heard. And the second reason is that I want the game that I play all the time and love to be the best game it can possibly be. Genshin at one point was the definitive best gacha game of all time, but times change, and I think Genshin has been dropping the ball. As someone who has played this game every single day for almost 5 years, I think I am the perfect person to point out and criticize the shortcomings of the game. You should not be hesitant to criticize something even if you like it. I do not need to make a video on all the great things about Genshin Impact, okay? It's very obvious that people love this game. That's why millions of people play it every day, and it prints $1 billion. But this video, I do feel like I should make. If you are unhappy with something, you voice your concerns in hopes that it makes a difference. Pretending that everything is perfect, being okay with the bare minimum, and never criticizing anything is just weak, okay? It's cuck behavior. So I want to use this place to voice my concerns and to really say what the players want and need. I want us, the players, to win. I want us to game, and I want us to have as much fun as possible when we play Genshin. So I hope this video makes a difference, and I also hope that you enjoy it. One thing real quick, guys, this video is not scripted, okay? I have bullet points of all these points that I don't want to forget, but that is it. I usually, you know, script my shit because I want it to be the most YouTube cinema as possible. You know, I like making quality stuff over quantity, but I just thought this video would be a lot better with my real off-the-cuff thoughts on all these topics. Let's get into it. Let's start with the obvious stuff, okay? Day-restricted weapon and talent materials. This is a straight-up caveman-ass archaic gacha game system. We have gotten older, we have gotten smarter, and we have just adapted as human beings that we should not have to put up with this bullshit, okay? It's cringe. No one likes it. Even Genshin's own sister game, Honkai Star Rail, you can farm the talents on any day. Competitors, Wuthering Waves, you can farm the materials on any day. Nobody likes this. It's stupid as hell, and I think it is literally at the click of a button in the freaking coding HoYoverse laboratory, okay? Get rid of it. Next up, weekly boss drops, okay? This is the Senora domain. Spoilers, guys, she's dead. You can only farm this once a week. That's it. It's just straight up dumb as hell, okay? I get that, like, maybe you don't want it to be forever farmable. Limit it to 3 times. You can choose what boss drop you want to farm 3 times. You can do the same one 3 times. As of right now, you can fight all of them once, which I guess is cool, but no, we should be able to farm the same weekly drop more than once. Now, I can't exactly show a perfect example of this because I am a cuck who plays this game every single day, but first time reward clears. I've been doing a Wuthering Waves challenge for the last 30 days, and it feels great when I find a new domain, I go in, and I get rewarded just for clearing it, spending absolutely nothing. Every boss, every little fight, domain, weekly, whatever, there are first time clear drops. This feels great for the player. It makes me want to explore. It makes me want to run around the map and go into all the new domains. It's just an awesome, simple, easy way for these gacha games to reward us for sitting here and playing your game for hours. It's fun, it's nice, it just we should have it. All right, this next one makes me quite freaking angry. I am AR60. I have played this game for over a year, or even spent a bunch of money to get to AR60 in less than a year. I am the highest level I can possibly be. Why the hell am I only getting 3 boss drops from these world bosses? Dude, yes, they added a chance to get 4. I have played this game for so goddamn long. I should be getting at least 4. And going back to the weekly bosses, like Senora, who's dead, I should get at least 3 of those weekly drops every single time, but you mostly get 2. It's just really stupid when you are the highest rank in the entire game. It's very frustrating. Now, I can't even show you this exact thing because it doesn't exist in the game. Free 5-star selector upon making your goddamn account, or at least getting to like AR 25 or 30. Dude, this is amazing. The standard characters suck. Okay, the only good one is Tainari. The rest of them are mid to bad. Just give the character one for free. I logged in to Honkai Star Rail drunk while hanging out with some friends the other night, okay, just to try and pull Castoris because she's hot. Didn't get her, by the way. But you know what I did get? An option to choose any standard banner 5-star that I wanted that lasted for another like 300 days or something. It's just awesome. It feels great. It's generous. It makes the player happy. Dude, Genshin, come on, man. I know you added it for the anniversary, but like, just do it. The standard characters suck. The next, more 4-star selector events. As of right now, we get 1 4-star selector event a year, and it's only leeway 4 stars. Look at your screen. Look at all these 4 stars. There's even more that I can't fill. Not even half of them are from leeway. Why is it limited? Let me pick stupid ass Mika if I want him, if I'm his biggest fan, okay, which I'm not. 4 stars are already brutal enough to get in this godforsaken game. Yeah, we get like 1 or 2 or 3 free 4 stars a year from events, but more 4-star selectors. Let players get these hard to get characters. There's so many characters in the game right now. We need them more accessible. I'm on a gacha tirade right now, okay? The weapon banner, it is a 75% chance to flip a coin for this really good pitchfork thing or Navia's stupid axe that's good on like 3 characters. Dude, Honkai Star Rail, 75-25. Wuthering Waves, guaranteed to get the weapon you want. The fate point thing is all right, but it's just at this point, it's too predatory. I don't like it. We should buff the weapon banner. Select a weapon, and it's a 75% chance you get that weapon, okay? At the very least, if you don't want to split the banners, all right? I'm saying. Now, this is probably asking for too much because gacha games like money. A 4-star selector charting option when you're pulling on a banner. I could pull on this banner $3,000 and I could not get a single copy of Aoife, the new 4-star guy right there. Make it a star, okay? I know you guys like your little imagery and whatnot, okay? Make it 5 points. The star fills up each point of the star, and after 5 of them, I get Aoife at least once, okay? It's sad, it's gross, it's annoying, and this is probably never gonna happen because like whales, dude. Think about whales. They're gonna pull C6 Scott VA, okay? But like, are they gonna get that C6 Aoife? They may not, and they're gonna keep swiping and swiping and swiping. So it's probably not gonna happen, but it would be nice. It would make me feel respected as a player. All right, team, it's that part of the video. We're talking about artifacts, okay? There are so many things that can fix this system, but the first one that everybody wants is an artifact loadout system, okay? When I want to grab a piece from a different character, Lisa is currently using this. Do you want to swap it? Yes. This build is the one I want to save, okay? Artifact loadout. Save it, and now I can go fool around, switch up all my builds, take all these pieces from Veressa if I want to, but when I come back, I click the loadout, I go to the loadout, I click it, and it says, all these characters are holding these. Do you want to put them all onto Veressa? It's gonna take them all off of Lisa, or whatever, just like it says. That's it. It's simple. It would just make organizing artifacts, organizing your best builds so much easier. I don't know why they don't do it. It's crazy, bro. They have $1 trillion. There's no excuse for not coding it or whatever. You can't make it. So from the looks of it, Genshin is finally giving us the artifact loadout system we have always wanted. They have tried to, make our artifact equipping system better with some fast auto equip stuff, but it's not what we actually wanted. And I think they knew that. So they are finally trying to give us what we actually want. It may require us to jump through some hoops to get the actual artifacts that we want on our build, which is a little bit annoying, but nonetheless, this is either a great start or a great change. Good stuff, Hoyo. Next up is the sanctifying elixir. This is a great change that Genshin made, okay? You get these elixirs and you can use them to craft a perfect artifact. The problem with sanctifying elixir is that it is way too expensive for how little elixirs you get. It costs 4 to make a single goblet. And I can only make 1 Huzz of Opulent Dreams goblet a month for my Chiori, because once you make it once for this set, you just can't do it. So the combination of how little you get them, they're locked behind the battle pass, by the way, to get some extras, and the fact that they are so expensive to make pieces is brutal. It's cool. They did add a buff where you guaranteed hit 2 of the stats you chose, but it could still roll to shit. All of mine roll to shit. So it feels bad when you waste such a limited resource and you don't get rewarded. We need more, or you need to make it cheaper. So along with another new feature that Genshin is implementing next patch, which we will get to, they are dropping a brand new item called the Dust of Enlightenment. What it does is it rerolls all the substats of an artifact you already have that is level 20. And it rerolls it like a crafted sanctifying elixir piece, meaning it will hit at least 2 of the subsets that you selected guaranteed. Honestly, this is straight up fire. This is an amazing change to the artifact system. If you got an amazing artifact all the way back in 1.0, this is mine, okay? It has a complete new chance at life and you can roll it again. It is going to feel great to take that miracle piece with the perfect stats on the perfect set that rolled to absolute garbage out of the garbage bin. This helps every level of player, the most dedicated tryhard players, casual players, everybody is going to love this. It is an amazing change, but the artifact system is not perfect. There are still a lot of problems with it that I am about to address. Finally, the artifact strongbox. As it works right now, you can put in 3 5-star artifacts of any set. You put them in, you choose your set. I've chose Husk of Opulent Dreams. I put them in and I will get 1 random piece from that set. That is it. I cannot choose what kind of piece I get. Something in Honkai Star Rail, Genshin's sister game, is freaking awesome. You can choose to get this, a circlet, okay? Just all of them will be circlets, or all of them will be boots, or all of them will be whatever. Okay, it's already just an RNG fest, and the fact that I can get pieces that I don't need is just really freaking frustrating. Make it cost 4 to target whatever piece you want, even 5, and I would take it. But dude, it's great. The strongbox is cool, but like it needs to be even better. Artifacts will genuinely improve the experience for every single level of player. Yes, myself, fellow tryhards that play this game every day, we want better builds for our characters. We want to put amazing artifacts on like lower level characters, 4-star characters to do some crazy challenges. We want amazing pieces. We want our best characters to be cracked. But even for the casual player, they have to play the combat of Genshin Impact. They have to play bosses, they've got to do Abyss, they've got to do world quests to get their Primo Gems, all this kind of stuff. Even they want better characters, better builds for their characters at a easier, more convenient rate. The casual player does not want to like min-max, think about the stats of each and every artifact. The more we can customize, the more easily we can get them, every single level of player will be happy. These are just a few small things that I think if Genshin were to fix, implement, update into the game, the player base would feel appreciated, we would feel respected, and we would feel heard, okay? I think it is inarguable that everything I just named should straight up be in the game. No excuses. We should have them. Now, these next ones are the bigger fixes that I think Genshin needs. And I understand that some of these are asking for a lot, but at the end of the day, guys, Genshin, say it with me, billion-dollar company. HoYoverse, billion-dollar company. This is the world we live in. I'm sorry, but money can fix almost every single problem. And developing a video game, money can directly fix it and solve it, okay? There's genuinely no excuse. Billion-dollar company, these are the big fixes. The first is a graphics update and polish to the game itself. So the only real visual update we have gotten to Genshin in a very long time is this. When you are scrolling through what characters to select in your team, you get these cute, cool animations where the characters are they're a lot more vibrant and like energetic than they normally are in their models, okay? This is great. This is cool, but it does not reflect the entire game. It is not enough. Genshin, at the time it came out, was an absolutely beautiful game. And to be honest, for a free-to-play game, it still looks pretty damn great, okay? But when you compare it to Zenless Zone Zero and Honkai Star Rail, I have to compare them, guys. They are owned by the same company. Yes, Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero were made, farther in the future from when Genshin was made, using Genshin's money, by the way. So it makes sense that they look better, that their animations and everything have modernized and look beautiful. But there is no excuse why Genshin, the forefather of this company, cannot be modernized and have their graphics improve. I would absolutely love to see Genshin Impact get a freaking makeover in terms of the animations, the textures, the qualities, everything, because the game is making so much money. It's beautiful, and I think this is something that everybody would want. We would love to see that, like, instead of Genshin staying stagnant and just riding its success for so long, is like, you know what? We are willing to reinvest a bunch of the money that we have made to keep the game modernized and beautiful and up to today's standards, okay? I would be so excited if they did something like this, and I would feel like, man, they really do want this game to succeed. Graphics, update, everything, I would love it. Next up, skip button. Yes, it is something that everybody has wanted for an extremely long time. Now, I just played Wuthering Waves, where the skip button is great. It's awesome to skip through these lame side quests, and while I'm doing the main quest, I personally am not skipping, but I get that if someone wants to, you should. Now, I think the reason there is no skip button, I'm being honest, is because Genshin wants you to, like, be enamored with the story, fall in love with the characters, fall in love with the universe, so that you feel more inclined and more, you know, emotionally connected to the game and these characters to pull. Okay, that is maybe my tinfoil hat theory, but at this day and age, just put the skip button in it. Players want convenience. If players are happier, they're gonna spend more money on your game. And dude, even if you make it for side quests only, that'd be a great start, okay? Just skip all the side quests, non-voice dialogue that genuinely no one cares about. Aranara, dude, I'm gonna... The next one is the seamless switch between controller and mouse, okay? I am a controller player. I know that this problem will not apply to everybody, but here's the thing, man. For me to be able to switch to my mouse and keyboard, I have to literally go into the menu, scroll, boom, 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 change mouse, keyboard, boom, boom, flip, flip, and I can only do one at a time. Star Rail and Wuthering Waves, and maybe even Zenless Zone Zero. I haven't played it in a while, okay? But I'm pretty sure it does. You can literally pick up the controller, play, and when you touch the mouse, it switches controls. Because playing on mouse, menuing through all these artifacts, all these weapons, all your builds is infinitely better than playing on controller, okay? It's just stupid. If the other games have it, Genshin should have it. Please. To be honest, I don't even know why that was in the big fixes, okay? That's small. The other games do it. Come on. Next, we're getting into big ones about the story, okay? Maybe you could say this is a nitpick for me specifically, but dudes, the musical audio direction in stories is pretty freaking dog sometimes. I get that, like, you want to have some background music during a story, but sometimes the background music just straight up does not fit the tone and the emotional power of what's going on screen. When they have cutscenes, yes, the music is great in the cutscenes. It rises up with the climax and everything. That's cool. But dude, they have very dramatic scenes like the one we just did with Albedo in this last patch, okay? Very dramatic scenes with the background music just like stagnant the whole time. When there's a twist and a turn and the audio just doesn't change, it doesn't match that, it just feels like lazy. I mean, dude, if you want me to care about the story that you are presenting to me, I need you to care about the story you are presenting to me. Next is an easier one about stories that I think most people would agree with, okay? More stories involving the actual freaking characters and not NPCs. I understand it's probably a logistical thing of paying some like very not notable voice actor to voice an NPC instead of paying for a full character, okay? But I do not care about NPCs. Nobody cares about NPCs. Every villain being an NPC, I guess, is like kind of fine because we don't want our characters that we like to be evil, but like you can make them have drama. You can make Escoffier spit in freaking Sean Yun's food and now she's mad or something, right? Like, make it harmless. Just make the characters that we love and enjoy interact with each other. We do not care about NPCs. They're lame, and like build the world that we want to play. Fuck the NPCs. All right, this next one's a big one. In the events tab, there's no permanent events, okay? All the gacha games that I keep comparing this to have a permanent events tab. Genshin has some crazy important lore that happens in the game behind some events that happened like 2, 3, 4 years ago that the player can never get to. During the last Albedo event, they tried to just summarize the entire Dragonspine event in a paragraph. That is just cringe, okay? And another thing is the permanent event weapons that came from these permanent events, Festering Desire, Cinnabar Spindle for Albedo, there's a bunch of other ones. They are not available to new players anymore. It feels bad knowing that you will never get that weapon and you will never experience that story for the characters you love, or you'll never really truly understand the full picture of the story because you never played it, okay? And now Genshin is doing Nod Cry for the next like year, which is supposed to catch up the story, but Nod Cry is cool. I hope it's awesome, but permanent events should be a thing. And if it's a space related issue, you gotta fix that, okay? $1 billion. You gotta like offload files of something. Look, I'm not a game developer, but like there shouldn't really be an excuse. Like we should make permanent events happen. Super quick here, but they did implement some better offloading of files for mobile players, which is awesome to save space, but PC players would enjoy this too. It's a good step in the right direction. And here it is. Talking about permanent endgame modes, a problem that Genshin has had for a very long time. Now, while they have been making the Abyss a lot harder as of late, which players have wanted, it's still not extremely difficult for late game players that use any 5-star they want, any weapon they want, which everybody does. The only reason I talk like that is because all I do is make challenges for myself to make the game hard for myself. But dudes, it's not hard. It doesn't become a challenge for players that have played a long time. So we need a new endgame mode that keeps players happy, engaged, and challenged, because why should we spend all of our time, all of our days leveling up characters, grinding those artifacts to make them better if we don't have to beat the endgame content? Something I'd like to use as an example is that level 25 combat event that they just had in Natlan. A couple months ago they had it, okay? Pretty much, you would try to get to level 25 with your team by clearing the levels fast enough. And so, only whales could get to 425. You had to be a freaking turbo ultra freaking whale to get there, which is good because the whales actually had their brains tickled for once in their goddamn lives. They had to actually try. And so while the free-to-play players or like low investment players like can't get there, they can at least grind really hard and try their best to get to floor like 23 or 24, okay? It was great. But I will say there was this buff system in this event where it was literally the buffs were, I'll translate them for you, use Malika, use Arlecchino or Malika, and use Malika. It's just stupid. Don't make it like so tailored to specific characters. It feels like crap. But it felt good trying to get higher and higher in this tower. And the best part was there were no rewards associated with getting that much higher to, you know, the floor 25. The next is co-op. The first one, wishful thinking, but improve the netcode. Genshin is an elemental reaction-based system for the combat, okay? You apply cryo, then someone has to apply pyro to make a melt reaction. And when the netcode is just jank, it's bad. You can't cause reactions like you want to. It's just an absolute clusterfuck, okay? So making that better would be a good, bonus. But then what I'm really getting at is there isn't a reason to do co-op. In Wuthering Waves, you can run around and collect echoes, pretty much artifacts, with your friends, which is great. Everybody is winning, okay? But in Genshin, if you want to farm an artifact domain with your friends, you have to spend resin, which you have a very limited amount of, on that domain. And the thing is like players are farming different materials together. Maybe this person wants Husk of Opulent Trees, this guy wants Golden Troop. They're not in the same domain, so you can't spend your resin on them at the same time. So there's just really no reason to play with your friends. So if Genshin could make a way that playing with your friends actually benefits you in some way, maybe every time you clear a domain, you just get a couple like 3 to 4-star artifacts. That's it. Just like 1 or 2, okay? It rewards you for sitting there grinding, no-lifing, playing the game, which is what they want you to do anyway, okay? You just get a little something. Even something like that would be enough to incentivize me to play co-op. But right now, I feel no reason to play co-op. So if they could make exploring the world more enamoring in some way together, more drops happen, more artifacts happen, that would be great. It's their job to come up with it, to be honest, because I came up with a lot of stuff for this video, okay? But make me want to play co-op. And then combining the last 2 that I said, a reason to co-op and a new endgame mode, dude, why don't we have like raids or something? A boss with like 20 million HP and we could just go in there wailing, spamming all our moves with our friends. Like, dude, it would be fun. It would make for some great clips. It would make players want to play with each other, streamers collaborate with each other. It doesn't even have to be like that hard, but just a reason to play together, to beat a raid. Like it just makes sense, man. It just makes sense. All right, so after all of that, out of completely nowhere, Genshin revealed a new endgame mode called, I think, Stygian Onslaught. It's a boss fight game mode similar to the Abyss, but it features all of the following: a way to farm any artifact set you want. It can be played in co-op mode. It gives out the new artifact rerolling item Dust of Enlightenment as a reward, and even has a secret level 6 difficulty called Dire Mode that's only unlocked if you play it in single player mode, and it gives no rewards. It's just for Giga tryharding. After getting nothing for so long regarding endgame, yes, we got Imaginarium Theater, but it wasn't really all it was cracked up to be. A lot of people aren't that big of fans of it, like myself. This is such an amazing step in the right direction to making Genshin's endgame feel that much more fulfilling. It addresses the artifact farming problem with friends that I mentioned, so long as we can choose different sets while we farm at the same time. It's even pretty much a raid game mode that you can do with your friends, so another nice little thing to do in co-op, and it even gives the whales something to do to really challenge themselves again with no rewards, meaning lower level players, whatever, if you do want to try it, you are not missing out on a reward. It is a win-win for everybody. I'm not going to go too deep into this game mode until we can actually play it for ourselves, see how fun it is, all of that kind of stuff, but I truly feel like they listened with this one, okay? It addresses a lot of problems all in one, and it seems like it's gonna be something fun to do. So I'm very happy with this HoYoverse. I appreciate you guys putting out this game mode. Now I have saved this one for last because maybe during this video, you've thought I've been spitting, okay? You've been agreeing with almost every single thing that I have said. But this last one, I get is a little bit more experimental and maybe even a little bit divisive, but just hear me out on my full explanation, okay? It is Abyss Leaderboards. Now, first, you opt into it at the beginning of a system. You walk into the Abyss and it says, hey, do you want to opt in to be on the leaderboards? And you could just say no and never think about it ever again. Okay, so I think it would need that. But this is how I think it could work. Now it'll be based on time. Okay, so the faster you clear the Abyss, the higher you will be on the leaderboards. But this is the kicker. When you choose your team, weapons, and artifacts to go into the Abyss and you click go, it assigns you a division based on the team that you went into the Abyss with. If I go in with 4 C6 5 stars, okay, obviously you are in like the diamond division, the whale division, whatever you want to call it, okay? And you will only be ranked on your time versus other players that were chosen in that division. So there will be an algorithm that decides what division you are put in based on the characters, their constellations, the weapon, their refinements, everything. So I could go in with my 4-star only challenges that I love, okay? 4-star characters only, 4-star weapons only. I go in and it puts me in the lowest division, the bronze division, okay? But bronze sounds bad. Let's not make it bronze. Let's make it something totally different. But it's just like, it's based on the investment and the level of characters that you are using, okay? So maybe I could get to top 10, top 25 in the lowest division with my bad team. And then a mid-level player, you know, they got like 2 5-stars, maybe one of them has a constellation on it, you know, there's a 5-star weapon here and there. Then you're in like the middle tier or the middle higher tier. I just think it would be cool to compare my times versus people at my level. It would be up to HoYoverse to come up with the perfect like algorithm system that like grades, you know, these things. And then I'm sure there'll be some manipulation, like if you take this weapon off or you only use a level 16, it's like, it's whatever. It's all for fun. There's no rewards for it. I would like it. And I totally understand that having any semblance of a competitive ladder or some reason to feel like you are worse than other players, I get that it may turn people off, but this is one that I think would be cool. It would make me want to interact with the community more, try more, play more, and yeah, but I totally get that that one is experimental and it'll probably never happen, but I thought I would just share it because it's an idea that I've always had for a very long time. So I guess all of this was to say that the big things that I want changed to Genshin Impact are bikini skins, a marriage feature, and